You know, sometimes you gotta take a nigga out, man. You already know. Just for GP, man. Just to let a nigga know you ain't fucking around. We ain't playing.
What the biz is, plus the biscuit. This is family business, a tisket, a tasket. You bout to meet your casket. The reaction on your face is so fucking priceless. Y'all scooting around the city, talking about who the nicest. We booting up junkies in the wrist be iceless. Brain in the whip, cause the bitch is trifling. We hustle, we're familiar, and we do the piping. Critiquing all you wannabes. Got the motorsport boat on the blue sea. Dungarees, white beater, and them Jordan 3s. A big shot like Phillips, ain't a hole in me. A Bearcat like Martin, I supply the D. It's family business, y'all. Plus the biscuit. This is family business, we won't leave a witness. It's family business, y'all. Plus the biscuit. This is family business.
I always gonna do shit like that. I'm broke. I'm use my phone.
Shit, I've been using the phone
Yeah, that shit work though, yeah.
especially if you got a good phone. I think it's started.
For sure. OD podcast. Here on one of my niggas, Briscoe. Hustle World family.
Yes, sir. Hustle World.
So I want to get into this this COVID shit. Because there's a lot of people out there that like they don't think it's real. Or they got some conspiracy thoughts. I want to know, what's your thoughts on it first of all? Like, do you think it's real?
All right, so at first, I ain't gonna need to lie to you. I didn't think it was real.
Me neither.
I didn't think it was real. But what I do, in my opinion, I think it's the significance they saying about how bad it is. I don't think that's matching up to what I see out here. You know what I mean?
Right.
I only say that because it's like they say, it's like a verse in the Bible. They say you should walk by faith and not by sight.
Right.
And that is true, but
How you doing, y'all?
seeing is believing too.
Right.
And I think what they portraying on the news, we should be seeing it on the streets, but I just don't see it.
And I don't see that shit neither. That's my whole thing for thinking like, is it real? But the only reason I know it's real because I had some close family members from it die. Like,
Okay,
but
okay.
They older people, like younger people, weren't really getting it. Like, but now you got that new strand. Now the younger generation getting it. But I still don't see it.
Right.
I only see it on the news. Like,
Absolutely. Okay, I'm gonna use this analogy, and then I'm gonna let you go on. It's kind of like this. When we watch the news and they talk about how bad black on black crime is,
right.
if I walk out my door, I can see that. Now, I'm not saying that I believe in black on black crime, not that I'm saying that it exists, because I don't think it exists. But we just gonna use that as an example, right? If they quote unquote say about black on black crime exists, if we walk outside our door, we can walk outside our door and see that.
Right.
I can see that going on. But and they over exaggerate that, right? But when they over exaggerate COVID, like they do in black on black crime. But when I walk outside my door, I don't see COVID as bad as they saying on the news.
Right.
So I'm saying, so in one way I'm giving them credit, saying that some of the stuff that they do see, they say I do see. But with this particular thing about COVID, I don't see it.
right. And I don't see it. Even like when they was on the big news, like CNN and all that shit. Like if you watching the TV, like you see that they had that little counter in the corner, the numbers constantly going up, constantly going up.
Absolutely.
But I never seen that shit. Like,
Absolutely. So, and it's like, could it be propaganda?
I think so.
You see what I'm saying? Could those numbers they showing be propaganda to the
Like,
public?
they just making it so we can see it and be like and panic and shit. But I'm saying that because
There you go.
like if you went to the hospital for anything, like a motherfucker died. Say you went to the hospital, you had the flu.
Right.
I said, oh, you died because you had COVID, like, and they were just
inflating them numbers.
they were just using it for them numbers, like,
Right.
fucking he had a heart attack. It's because this nigga had COVID. Nigga ain't had no fucking COVID. I died from a heart attack, like.
Now, with that being said, if you're a person that does believe that's out here, but then you hear that, where do you go? When you hear that, it's a possibility they manipulate numbers, because there was a saying that hospitals did get like a certain amount of money to deem every patient being diagnosed with COVID, right?
Right.
That died or whatever. Now, if we know that, are we believing that side of the story, that the hospital's getting compensated for because then they can manipulate the numbers knowing that they're getting paid for it.
Right.
Because then it's a form of corporate corruption in a way. So
everybody gonna believe whatever though. Like,
Right.
like I said, you can have a common cold and they gonna be like, oh, it's COVID. because
Right.
COVID is like flu-like symptoms.
Right.
But nigga, I just got the flu. Like
Exactly.
Yeah, it ain't COVID. I just got the flu. Like
So for the ones who don't believe it or they don't believe in vaccinations, should they be looked down upon when we know there's information saying that possible numbers is being manipulated? Because there is a side of the people that's vaccinated that looks upon the unvaccinated saying, hey, y'all should get vaccinated. And what does that do? It creates segregation.
right.
See what I'm
And
saying?
put
Creates
people against
division.
each other.
There
like,
you go.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So for the ones who got this type of criticism, for the ones who's not unvaccinated, by them knowing that the information's out there, should they be ashamed feeling the way they feel?
No.
Not sure you can't answer that, but just know for the
Yeah.
world, you know what I mean? Just
Right.
put it out there who's listening.
Right,
like.
because I got the shot and my cousin don't got it. But then we do our little back and forth, like why I took it and why he ain't gonna take it. Like, and I'm one of them believers, like, because his mom passed with COVID. I'm like one of them people, like, you should take it because your mom passed. You dealt with it firsthand, like.
Right.
But then he got like this thing, like the hospital's just getting paid for. Like he really deep into looking into that shit. Like,
Okay. I got something to combat what you gonna say.
Just like, hold on, just
Okay.
like they paying people now to get the shot.
Okay.
And when I got it, they ain't pay me shit. Like
Okay.
I was one of the ones that just volunteered when it first came out. Like, all right, I'll take it. Like, but now they want motherfuckers take it so much they paying you to do it now.
So you said somebody had passed away from COVID, right? Now, still with the information that we know that's out here, with that information that was relied to them, not unbeknownst, because I do know somebody, like I used to go to church, I knew somebody, me and my dad get in this debate. I ain't gonna use those situations, I'm gonna use this situation. Me and my dad get in this debate, and it was somebody that in our church that I grew up, we used to go to church that died over in Cincinnati that died of COVID. And I'll be saying, and I said, okay, if it is out here, then the cases of them dying, because how was they living situation before they passed?
Right.
Was they healthy?
Yeah, they was healthy.
You see what I'm saying? Okay.
Plus, she worked in the nursing field too. So.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, how healthy do we know that they was healthy? Is it based on what somebody else said, or do we really know what COVID is based on what they saying in the media?
That's the only thing we know is what they saying.
So it's just like anything
like
else.
when we were talking outside, COVID been around forever. It's
Right.
always been in the lights out can. If you ever read the lights out can, it say the spray or prevent or kill germs also kills COVID or whatever. Like
Right.
It's been on that can since lights all been out.
Right.
But all of a sudden, the world get bombed with COVID
Out of nowhere.
and the numbers going up and elderly's dying from that shit. Like
Now let me say this. I don't mean to interrupt you. It is suspicious that some people, I do be hearing some people saying that they losing taste and all that. I ain't never heard that before.
Right.
I ain't never heard that. So when I do hear that, and I'm a type of person to go off a pattern. So if I hear a couple people saying it, I'm like, but if I keep hearing it, it ain't a coincidence to me that everybody's suffering the same symptoms. So
Right.
it makes me believe that it could be something out here that they putting out there that could make people sway to think that they need a vaccination.
right.
Even though that the recovery numbers is like 98%.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So it's like it puts
But
me on the fence.
it's like 98% for like younger people. Like
That's a good point.
Yeah.
I like how you threw
for the younger generation.
Right.
Because the numbers now, there's the older people was dying from that shit.
Right.
Like and my people that passed from it, she was in her late 60s.
Okay.
So I don't really consider that old. Like I mean, she up there, but I don't really consider that old. Like, you know
Okay.
what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like,
Okay.
To me, the people that was dying from it, like 70, 80, yeah, I can see because they got complications. Like,
Absolutely. I agree with you.
but to me, I think like the government did something and just threw that shit because, like I said, had COVID always been here, but the world just all of a sudden we can't go outside and we got to isolate ourselves and then they coming up with vaccinations.
Right.
And then as soon as the world start getting a little bit better, boom, here come another variant.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Another variant. Like,
And
but it's
go-
getting the younger people now.
there
though.
you go. And it's like how we said discussing when we were talking about how we seen COVID being out here before, right?
Yeah.
Now, when we see it being out before, we look at the behind like a cleaning ingredients. We seen it out there. Now, could them putting that out there now, is that a form of predictive programming, like how they doing with the Simpsons? How we see certain events play out before and then it happen.
Yeah.
Now, is that situation the same how we've been seeing COVID before even being out? By us looking behind cleaning products. Now, predictive programming could be a situation where they're gonna show you an event before it happens, right?
Like The Simpsons. Yeah.
Right, like The Simpsons. It's like, could it be a form of playing mind games with somebody, right?
Shit, but that always made me think, like, all right, like who the fuck owned The Simpsons? Because The Simpsons predict a lot of shit.
Okay.
And then, like, damn, that shit, like, damn, I just seen that shit on The Simpsons.
Okay, that's a
so,
good question.
so who controlling The Simpsons if you really think about it?
Okay,
Like,
I can say, I can give you the answer if you want me to say it, or
go ahead.
okay. I think what's going on with The Simpsons is who controlling everything, because if you control The Simpsons and you control entertainment and you control music, you can really, it's like an octopus, right?
Mm-hmm.
You got your hands in everything, right? Because if you want to control something, you got to touch everything in order to control it. So if you a beast, which I think they says in the Bible about a beast, which is the synagogue of Satan, which I'm about to get into who they are. If you somebody got eight arms, you can touch the music industry, you can touch the education system, you can touch the political system,
Right.
you can touch the music, and you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like, what I think is going on is, with all these different conspiracies going on, is controlled by one person, one organization at the top.
Right.
And I think in our reality, right, I think all this is being controlled by the Jews, by the Zionist Jews.
Yeah.
I think, you know what I mean?
Because I think, so my theory on this shit, and then like I said, I talked to my cousin, and he be deep diving into this shit like, we only got one world. And you know, a baby is born like every day. So to me, what they did was they threw this shit on the world to like get rid of some of the population. To me, I think it's population control. That's what I really think it is. Ever since COVID first came out and I seen them numbers going up, but it was older people, I said, man, this population control. Like,
Okay.
and then now the younger people getting it, it's population control.
Okay.
Because I don't know if you ever looked at my people's, he a deep thinker. He take me back to the Egypt days when the Hebrews and shit, and when they was getting like too big of a number, they threw their babies in the river.
Okay.
To control their population. Like, if I for real, that's what I think they doing to us. Because if we run out of resources and shit, like, which you can't never run out of resources.
Right.
We get our shit from everywhere.
Right.
But the government felt like if we run out of resources, what the fuck we gonna do?
Let me ask you this. Is the form of population control, is it going to be out for COVID itself, or is the form of population control going to be off the vaccinations?
I think both.
Think so?
Because, yeah, both. Because like I said, they killing us off with the COVID.
Okay.
I think it's gonna be in that shot.
I think, because
That's
I
why they
think,
want the kids to get it now.
Yeah.
because I'm thinking the numbers we seeing now is not believable.
No.
But the numbers we gonna see, like, it might not be a year or two from now, but I'm pretty sure from some years from now, a decade from now, you're gonna start seeing a new disease or something happening where people gonna start falling off. I think, because right now, I don't think what we seeing and with the numbers they projecting is not really showing a sign of a genocide they pushing. I think it's just a bluff. It's a pump fake, right? And I think that pump fake is to get you to go to that vaccination, which is the real death penalty of the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which we thinking the whole, see, it's like this. It's like when we thinking the death penalty, we thinking the real issue is the COVID. I think they using COVID as a pump fake to get you to go to the vaccination. And the vaccination is the really thing that's gonna kill you.
Cause I get hella
No, you
theories
good?
on that shit too. Like they giving us the like I said, I volunteered for the vaccination when it first came out. I didn't have to, but I did. I had a whole bunch of reasons why I had to. But I went through hella shit went through my head like maybe they injected me with nanites or something, you know, like so they can control us later, or like they injected us with tracking devices, like whole bunch of shit. Like like I got this shot right now. If they wanted me to stop talking, they press something and I can stop talking right now. Like or down, or like you said, like their head, they using that shot to control us somehow. And whenever they want, they can just get rid of us. Like,
let's say this. Now, if for people who believe in the Bible and believe in the mark of the beast, right? They talk about in order for you to buy, sell, or trade, all will have to get the mark of the beast. Now, they in the Bible it said in the forehead of the right arm. That could be controversial words that can be. And somebody if somebody want to use that to go against what I'm saying, they can use that. But just if we ain't gonna use that piece, just not use that piece. Let's talk about they use the word all, right? All, young, old, rich, or poor. Now, when we hear that in that Bible verse, in Revelation, right? Now, again, I got to mind you, I ain't a person that believe the whole Bible's real. I think 70% false, 30% real. But it's up to you to decipher what's real or false.
Right.
But in this case, when they use the word all, I'm thinking about the key word all. And then when we think about, when they talk about vaccinations, they talking about vaccinating who?
All of them.
The whole world. So, it, in some way, shape, or form, it can be a correlation. Could I ain't gonna say it could be. I ain't gonna use my opinion. Could it be a correlation to the mark of the beast?
Yeah.
Could it be? If they forcing all to get this, young and old, rich and poor, get this all, and then they say this in the Bible, and they say everybody gotta get this. This never happened before.
Right.
There's been a lot of sicknesses happen. They never forced nobody, the whole world, to do this or that.
Yeah.
Right? Now, if they forcing the whole world, you know, and it's like a separate question. If they forcing the whole world to do this, are we already at to the point where we at a new world order? Because guess what? In order for you to force the whole world, in order for you to do that or have some type of motivation of doing that, unbeknownst to us, they already got the new world order to go, right? Because it's globally. And everybody in the whole world got to get it. And when we talk about the new world order, this ties into the whole world getting a shot. Not just the United States of America, but the whole world.
Yeah.
So, not to confuse you, throw you off.
Oh, no, because I'm feeling what you're saying. Because that made me think about back in the day, like when the bird flu was out. Remember that whole little thing that they had? Like,
Right.
And it's a whole bunch of other ones that was out there. Like, I think it was one for like measles or something. Like, it was a world pandemic for measles.
SARS.
Yeah, all that type
all
of
the
shit. Yeah. So like, was they thinking the same way we was thinking? Like, oh, this is just the way to control us or kill off some of the world. Like I wonder if back then did they think the same thing for bird flu or the other shit that you were talking about, the same shit that we thinking right now. Like,
Right. Or was these events used to condition us today?
yeah.
What you think? Could these other little situations like bird flu and SARS, was they used to condition us in a way what's going on today? Did they use those little events to condition us to how we thinking and acting today?
No,
Do you think that?
I don't think so. But I think there was a way to control them back then. Like I think it's what it is right now.
Okay.
Like it's just a way to control us. Like
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay. Absolutely.
Cause I don't know. I don't want to know. Did you get the shot?
I did.
You did. Would you ever get it or?
No, I don't think. You know what? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, if we're gonna talk real talk, I don't know.
Yeah.
I really don't know. Like I ain't gonna say. I don't know. You know what I mean? We don't know what type of position.
Because
you
I don't know
put
if
in.
you a person like to travel. Like I heard a
That's
lot
what
of
I'm
people.
saying. Exactly.
Yeah, my cousin he traveled. Like,
Right.
my uncle traveled.
Right.
Like if they gonna make y'all get that motherfuckers if you want to travel. Cause I heard like if you don't get the shot and you go somewhere, you come back, you gotta wait like 14 days or
Right.
something before you could come back. Like depending on where you go. Like,
I ain't gonna lie. I love to drive, and one place I do want to go to is Oakland.
yeah.
And you know that ain't drivable. But if they ever made, they made a motherfucker a mandatory for me to get a vaccination, and I want to go to Oakland, I drive out there, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But I'm just being sarcastic.
I'm getting shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm
gotta
just
get
I'm just being sarcastic out there. But it's just like, I don't know. It's like, how much you really want to sacrifice what you believe in to get a shot?
Yeah.
Just because what the United States deemed to be being perks to travel.
They
and
gonna
this and
enforce
that.
it.
So I'm
Like-
saying,
like I said, it's
that's
gonna
what I'm saying. And I know they're gonna enforce it, but
Right.
how much is it important to you versus what they say this is important to what
Right.
they say is important to you to willing to get that shot? Is it okay? I love to travel, but how much in my beliefs I gotta put on the scale? How much of morals and the values that I believe on what's going on of good and evil? How much did I put that on the scale? Does that weigh more than me really want to travel as much as I want to travel?
Right.
The
You know what I'm
travel
saying?
make you happy.
It do, but
Yeah.
what about your?
What it's gonna do?
But what about your morals and values?
They're gonna
So, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They're gonna
So-
affect the money.
But see,
That's how they gonna get you.
Right.
The jobs.
But
right.
see, they try
But-
to make it mandatory for that too.
But
Yeah.
if we keep it on the level of traveling, right? Nothing
Right.
to do with jobs.
Okay.
How much does traveling mean to you versus your morals and values if you know what's going on? Like for me, I don't know what you know what's going on, but in my opinion, I think this could be a precursor to the mark of the beast. Now, by me knowing that, I'm questioning myself. As much as I love to travel and see stuff, how much I'm willing to know, if I think that's what it is, how much I'm willing to sacrifice my morals and values just to go travel
Right.
to say they say this is a beautiful place. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to.
If it was me, because I travel, but all the places I go to, I can drive. So I'm like, man,
Right.
I want to get the shot for that shit.
It's gonna come down to
right.
it. So and I think that's what's gonna come down to is like it's gonna come down to your morals and your values about shit. Like, are you willing to like if it come down to it, you willing to go with technology for your morals and values? Now, in reality, we can't do that because we got to connect with each other.
Right.
You need a phone to eat.
Right.
But in that type situation, like if it come down to that, like it is gonna come down to that.
Yeah.
How much do you care about your values versus how much you care about your pleasures?
Right.
Basically.
I said, me, I'm a big family guy. And like I said, the reason I got the shot was for my family. Now, if none of my family was sick and we all was healthy and we still kicked it and that shit, I wouldn't get the shot. But I got it because of my family. So to me, that's my morals and my
Okay.
thing. So.
Okay. Some people are in a position where they got to do that.
Right.
And I understand that. Now, like I said, your beliefs can be different than my beliefs. And my beliefs, this could be a sign from the devil. So, like, I get into this with my dad all the time because he be like, man, you got to get this shot, And I'll be like,
Your pops got it?
yeah, he got it.
He got it?
But, and I tell him I ain't ready to get it yet because I know what's going on. I know what's going on. I know, I see, like,
Plus,
this
it's
ain't
new. That's
it's
why
not for the
I feel
good.
people who say they ain't get it because it's brand new. Like,
Ain't
they don't
no
know what
that.
I ain't know what this shot was going
Right.
to do to me. Like,
And I'm gonna tell you this: this is a pattern, though, right? Because if you believe in patterns, you believe in history repeats itself, right?
Right.
For people to criticize and say black people don't want to get it, how could you what they did with the Tuskegee Airmen? Let's bring that up. They educate people because I gotta bring that up. What they did to the Tuskegee Airmen, they told them they're gonna do an experiment and do something. They didn't say they was gonna shoot them with syphilis. They would do some little study, like what you watch on TV. And they say, hey, you do they little infomercial. You want to do a study? We'll pay you $1,500 or whatever. Basically, that's what they did to them back in the day. But they ain't telling them what they was gonna do. So they thinking they was gonna get free health insurance for the study that they thought they was gonna receive from what they want to research. But now they ain't do that. They shot them up with syphilis, right? They kept shooting them up with syphilis. So then I guess somehow, some way, it came out through the grapevine that they were shooting up with syphilis. So I guess they knew about penicillin to cure syphilis. So then when they got caught guilty about shooting them up with syphilis, they told them like, okay, now we're gonna shoot you up with penicillin, so we got caught. But they didn't shoot them up with penicillin. They kept shooting up with syphilis. You see what I'm saying? So it's like what I'm getting to is it's like a pattern of lies.
right.
You know what I mean?
And that's the world.
That's the word.
Yeah.
But see, it's like this: if you caught your girl cheating, and you had a pattern of lies of your girl cheating, you wouldn't trust her again in your life.
Right.
But see, when the government shows you a pattern of lies of lying to you and a pattern of lies of mistreatment, we ain't hesitant to still trust them again.
Yeah,
See what I'm saying?
I never trust the government. Like,
But in some ways we do though.
Yeah.
Because guess what? When it comes to this COVID stuff, we kind of do because guess what? We ain't really did our research to know what they saying, what they telling the truth or not. Right. It's kind of like with the Earth thing. Is it flat around? We don't really know. We're going about what somebody else saying.
Right.
Now I ain't gonna get no full. I don't know. If you ask me, I ain't gonna say if it's round or flat or not. Because guess what? The facts that if I was to argue with you that the information I'm gonna use come from a school, and by me using them, the information that come from a school, I don't know if that's accurate.
Right, but you know what I'm
See what I'm
saying
saying?
too? Because you like,
We be running in circles.
that's the same thing you said about the Bible. 70% of it is real, and 30% of it is it. But
Okay.
the Bible is man-made.
It's true, and you know that's true. But I think some of the stuff that we see in the day, you know what? It is man-made, but it's like this. I'm gonna show you. This is what they do with the Bible. I just got this. It just hit me. It just hit me. This is what they do with the Bible. It's like the cartoons. They show you the truth.
Right.
The movies. They show you the truth. It ain't like they see the evildoers of the world. They ain't gonna want to give you the whole truth, but they showing you the truth, right? Through the movies and the cartoons. It's up for you to see the truth, right? It's just like the Bible. I think the way they do the movies and the cartoons about you showing the truth about this and that, it's the same thing with the Bible, right? The Bible, it is man-made, but it's still truth in there.
Right.
They still want you to see the truth. But again, it's up to you to watch that movie to pick out the truth and pick out the fakes. It's just like with that Bible. It's up to you to read that Bible to decipher what is real and what is fake.
Right.
That's the real thing.
Right.
See, the real argument is if the Bible ain't real or fake or not. We know that it's like 70-30. The real argument is can one decipher what's real and what's fake in the Bible?
Right.
That's the real argument. I believe. In my opinion, the argument of it being real or fake, I think we know that. But we know it's a mixture. But can one decipher what's real and what's fake? And I think what you're seeing out here, it kind of playing out. Now, I ain't no Bible thumper.
Yeah.
But some of the stuff I'm seeing is kind of playing out what's in that book.
Right.
Which make me think that it could be 30% in there that may be true.
Yeah. See, now back when I was younger and stuff, I was forced to like read the Bible first to be a church goer and stuff like that.
Me too.
But when I got older, I was allowed to have my own belief. I don't believe in the Bible. I
Okay.
believe in God though.
Okay.
I don't believe in the Bible because the Bible is man-made.
Okay.
And what I believe in knowledge. And
Right,
I got a lot of older people and they tell me stuff like this, and this. I said, I'm gonna believe you because you older and you seen more than I seen, so I believe you know.
Absolutely.
Like, but I do believe in God, higher power, and all that shit though. Like, don't nobody be like, oh, this nigga don't believe in the Bible. Like,
You gotta
I just
say
don't
that.
believe. Yeah,
You gotta say that.
I believe in God. Yeah. I believe in God, but that the Bible was man-made. Like, I don't know who the hell made this Bible. Is it the first one that's ever been made in life?
You got a good point.
Yeah.
Let me hang.
Go ahead.
Okay, let me say this because that's a good point.
Yeah.
That is a good point, and I mean I can't argue against that because we don't know, right?
Right.
But like you said, I was dragged to go to church too, right? But then when I got older, I started to see that I don't really believe in church. You know why? Because I see church and state merged together.
Yeah.
When I say state, that's government.
Right.
So when we and people are, well, how you know that? Because you know why? Most of these churches getting us tax breaks.
Right.
Why they getting tax breaks? You know why? It's hush money. Because you know why? They know churches exist. So guess what? With the government knowing what they knowing and knowing what they want to do is it's basically keeping a muzzle on the church's mouth, right? If I give y'all tax breaks, y'all know what y'all should say and know what y'all should say.
Plus,
you see what I'm saying?
Them motherfuckers on TV making bread. How you a church person
And they making
and they making millions on TV?
That's why they making money. Think about it, bro. If you look at a church, they the shiniest building on the block.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? Because it's them tax breaks. Okay, and then we think about why they get tax breaks. And guess what? Or why and where they get tax breaks from. Why they get tax breaks? Because it's hush money. And why is it hush money? Because guess what? Some of these churches hold the truth on telling the people the truth. The governments know that. So in order for the governments to keep that from going on and keeping the truth and telling the truth to the people, we're going to give them tax breaks.
Right.
It's hush money. We're going to give y'all tax breaks for y'all to know what to say and what not to say. So guess what? When you give a tax break to keep the people confused. So when I used to be dragged to go to church, I used to be dragged just to go. I ain't really wasn't into it.
Right.
But now when I get older, I start to see that church and state together. When you start seeing church and state together, it ain't a good thing.
Right.
Because it gets manipulated by money.
Yeah, because I don't go to like church, but I have church every Sunday at my house. Before I get
That's
my
the best
day
to do
started,
it.
yeah. Before I get my day started, no lie. Every Sunday I
That's the
wake
best to
up,
have it.
I listen to my gospel music. Cause I love gospel music on Sundays. I don't listen to it no other time.
Okay.
I listen to it on Sundays. Get my soul cleansed, pray, thank God for all my little whatevers. But then after that, I'm just back to my little thug music.
But
but that's my church.
That's
though.
the best way to have it.
That's my church.
That's what they say.
Because
That's
there's
the
a
best
lot
way
of
to have
fake
it.
motherfuckers. At
That's
church.
the best.
Yeah.
They always like I said, I ain't no Bible thumper, but from what I remember when I used to go to church on Charlotte and Lynn Street, they used to say like, church ain't about the building, it's about the people.
Right.
So I'm saying, and for real, that's what it's about. Because
what's in
if
your
you
heart
use it
is
about
that.
the building, then it gets manipulated by the world.
Right.
So I'm saying, if you got it within yourself, it's pure. So I'm saying, you can't have things manipulated by the world, because if the world and the church is mixing, then when I see it, then it ain't real.
And that's why that motherfucker, they were showing us those cover numbers and people was believing that shit.
Exactly.
People was believing it.
Now, it's like this. Now, in my opinion, like I told my dad, it's like in my opinion, the government is. I told my dad, when you look at the government, what side do they on? Are they on God's side or are they on the devil's side? In my side, they're not on God's side because they took out the 10 Commandments and all that, right? So if we know where the government, where side they side on, why do we still follow the government? Okay, I mean, before you even go on, I got into a big argument with him because he was saying, I told him I wouldn't vote. And I said, he said, well, why wouldn't you vote? I was like, because it don't matter who you vote for, it's still going to go wrong, left or right? But he believes that, he thinks I'm a Republican, right? And I said, I ain't a Republican, but let me tell you this.
Are you anything or are you just...
I'm not anything because I wouldn't vote.
That's how I am too.
I wouldn't vote.
No, I voted, but I voted for Democrat, but I ain't no Democrat.
Okay,
Hey.
but you know what? I'm going to challenge you on this.
Okay.
Because I'm going to tell you this, and I challenge him on this. You don't really know what you lean towards unless you take a look at your views and your values, right? And I'm about to get you on this. If it come down to guns, if they want to take guns or keep guns, where you at with that?
I'm gonna keep guns. It's your right. If you want a gun, you're gonna keep it.
So guess what? Unbeknownst to you, not saying that you are, like I just told my dad today. Sometimes you don't know who you lean towards, right? But if you look at your views and how you view stuff, you kind of look at where you lean towards, right?
Right.
Now, by you saying that you would keep guns, what party want to keep guns?
Was the Republicans?
Republicans. You see what I'm saying? Now, if you
But Republicans a bunch of redneck.
They are.
Of course, they gonna want to keep their guns.
But I'm not saying this is true, but there was a thing that said they said black people was Republicans in the first place.
Right.
Now I don't know how true that is. I ain't gonna call it a song that that's true. But if they throw that out there, it kind of makes sense because guess what? The way we kind of view stuff, it could be Republican. I don't know. I'm just saying how we kind of how we view stuff because at the end of the day, we want to protect ourselves because of us being black, right?
Right.
If they was to make a law and say, hey, we can get rid of guns, us as being black people, we ain't gonna be with that.
No.
So in a way, not saying it's just 1 out of 10. Okay, it ain't 10 out of 10 to definitely say that's what you lean towards.
Right.
But it's a path to show that you might lean towards something that you not knowing that you might lean towards. Like I told my dad, he think I'm Republican. I said I'm not Republican, but I'm saying the way I might view shit. Somebody assessing how I view shit might think I'm a Republican.
Yeah, Republican.
Not saying that I am,
Right.
but how I view stuff. Unbeknownst you don't know how you feel about certain stuff, or your views are show where you lean towards, but you don't definitely know that to somebody else assessing, like, okay, yeah, he leaning towards this or that.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
If you think about that, think about that. Your views show where you lean towards for it.
That's true.
For real.
Yeah.
I think we lean towards something else because people, a political person might cater to us or pander to us or think that they for us. Not, and again, let me say this. I'm not saying I'm Republican, but I'm saying there is Democrats that do pander to black people.
Right.
To make them thinking that they are Democratic. But if you ask them certain questions, would it pan out to them being Democratic?
Yeah, see, it depends on what question you ask.
Right, that's true.
Yeah.
But I want to ask the ones that's on the fence.
Right.
To where it's like thought provoking, because the thought provoking ones gonna really tell where you at, in a way. The more important ones, like the gun situation.
Right. But like Republicans, they was with abortions, like they want to get rid of abortions. But Democrat was like, oh, it's a woman. If the woman want to get an abortion, that's her own choice.
That's a good point.
See,
That's a good
and
point.
I'm like, shit. Yeah. So
That's a good point.
And then that's me too. If it was a woman want to
If
get an
you're
abortion, she can do whatever she want to do.
Like you know what? I'm gonna get your points on that. Because like you said, it depends on what the
It
situation.
depends on what they
I gotta get your points.
It depends on
You
what
got
you
me on
ask.
that one.
Yeah.
You got me on that one.
Because I'm like, who the fuck are we to tell a woman you got to keep this baby? What if she was raped or whatever and she got pregnant,
Absolutely.
and I want to get rid of this rapist baby, but Republicans saying that abortions are illegal now. But Democrats was like, oh yeah, a woman can do whatever she wants to with her body. It's her body. See? So it just, like I said, it depends on what question you ask. What question you ask.
Hey, I like when I get got. I like
It
that one.
depends on what
That's a
you
good
ask.
one though. You're
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
You're
That's what they
because you should have your right.
Right, they wanted to get rid of that shit. Now, you can't force me to keep no motherfucking baby.
Damn.
I told you, it just depends.
Okay.
Like I said, like you said, the motherfucking news and shit, they say black on black crime is this, and that, and you go outside, you actually see it. When they said that about the COVID numbers, we can't see it.
It's kind of questionable.
Yeah, it's questionable.
Exactly.
Right, and you never know until it hit you like close. Like you said, you knew somebody that passed from it, and I know a couple people who passed from it. But that's the only time I've ever seen COVID. Like,
So, but with that being said, if we know hospitals can write death certificates to say that this person was deemed to die from this,
right.
how do we really know?
We don't know.
There you go.
But it's
You
a
know what I mean?
motherfucking lie.
You
That's
see
why
what I'm saying?
That's
We
why I
really
said this is the
don't.
government. And like you said, it's like a web. It started the head, and all them arms come out.
Exactly.
And they got they making money.
There you go. Because at the end of the day, the people that are working on this, some people that work underneath this web, they don't really know what's going on.
Right.
They think they're doing a good deed.
Right.
And they think they're going to deed because it's coming from the higher ups. But the people that's on higher up really know the diabolical shit that they doing. You know what I mean?
Because right now, the COVID shot free.
Okay.
But the
That's
longer it's going on,
Okay.
eventually we're gonna have to pay for it.
Okay.
Just like the flu shot. Remember when the flu was real bad and motherfuckers was getting the flu and they was giving you the flu shot, but now people pay for the flu shot. That's how they gonna make their money. Now
Okay.
the COVID gonna go around. COVID gonna be a normal thing. and I got the vaccination. Now they coming out with boosters and stuff. That's gonna be a regular thing you gotta get, like, in order to keep yourself from getting COVID or keep yourself from dying from COVID. Because you can still get COVID. It's just less likely you die when you get the vaccination.
So
eventually we gonna have to pay for that shit, and then that's when they money go
how
through
much,
the roof.
How much effective is boosters are if the 98% of recovery rate, or if the recovery rate is 98%? Think about that.
Yeah.
If how effective or how much do we need boosters if they say, now I'm not saying definitively, but what they say on the news is being a recovery rate of 98%, then what's the use of having boosters? To keep COVID away if the recovery rate is 98%.
It ain't gonna never go away. That's what I'm saying. COVID ain't gonna never go away. If that's the case, flu will be gone.
Right.
Or AIDS will be gone. Or cancer will be gone.
Okay, so
Please.
what's different? Okay, flu ain't never went away, right?
Right.
But guess what? It ain't no push to get flu shots every day. Like
Yes,
it
it
is
is.
for COVID.
It's a push to get a flu shot. Everybody say you should get a flu shot once
Right.
a year. I don't get that motherfucker. Like, the one time I did get the flu shot, like a few months later, I got the flu. I'm like, what the fuck am I taking this for if I can still get the flu?
Okay.
So I ain't never got the flu shot again.
Has an employer ever told you, or has you ever heard an employer say the things they're saying about COVID like they said about the flu shot?
No.
So what's different?
But back
You know
then,
what I mean?
when it was really happening, I'm pretty sure they said it back then.
Okay, so again, if a recovery rate is 98%, for one that don't want to get it, what's the motivation to get it? Like, just say I'm a person. I ain't gonna say me, but just say I'm a person that don't want to get it, and then somebody's trying to push the shot on me, right? What would be my motivation to getting it, knowing that the recovery rate
Like you can
is
still get
98%?
it. Like I said,
Right.
That's what I said. All right, why am I get this shot if I can still get COVID?
Right.
They said the reason you get it is you got a lesser chance of dying from it. Like, say me and you both get COVID right now, knock on wood.
Okay.
I got the shot. So I experienced symptoms and shit, but you did get the shot and you like bad, like you in the hospital with like on life support or whatever, like.
Okay.
But if you would have got that shot, we both would have been at home chilling. Just we got symptoms, we recovered from that shit. You know what I'm saying?
So okay, does it?
That's what they saying the shot do. And then every year you just have to get the booster, like you get a flu shot.
Okay, so say I'm a person that's spiritual, right? And I think how my immune system, the way the Most High made it, is just superior.
Right.
That
It's a lot of people who think like that.
when I get sick, I recover from it. Again, if I believe my immune system is gonna fight this out every year or whatever, okay, if you're a doctor, from a doctor's POV, which is a point of view, what motivation you can sell to me to get the vaccination, knowing that just like the flu shot, when I got the flu, I recovered. I got it 1 year. I got it. I don't know how many times I got it within my me being here, right? So I don't know how many times, but I recovered though. That's the main thing. I could have got the flu 100 times, but I recovered. But I ain't got the flu shot, but I don't get sick. So I ain't got the flu. I don't never get sick at all, right? So for a person that don't get sick, what's the motivation, or how can they sell somebody a shot to where somebody don't get sick?
I guess it really depends on your belief, what you just believe. Period. Like I said, I would never got the shot if it wasn't people around me close. I felt like I had to get the shot. I would never got that shit. And motherfucker couldn't pay me because they paying people now. Motherfucker couldn't pay me to take that shit. Because just because like we sitting here telling our theories and thoughts, I was thinking like, oh, this shot some bullshit. Like, to me, it's a way to control us. And that's still my thought on, even though I got it. Like, I don't know what the fuck they injected me with. I just know it's from what they said, I'm less likely to die from COVID if I get it.
So okay.
And just think too, the younger people who did get COVID, a lot of them stayed home and fought that shit off. Some of them had to go to the hospital, but some of them stayed home and fought it off because our bodies, our immune systems were strong, and younger people was fighting that shit off. It was the older people who couldn't fight that shit off, and that was passing from it, and the older people who got the vaccination first before us younger people got it.
What you think about people having religious beliefs and not getting a shot? Like I know, like, and we talk about divisional and divide and stuff, right? there's like, and we make now they're making segregational, right? To where the people who got the shot and the people who ain't got the shot. It's like a beef between the two, right? Where it's divide and conquer in a way, right? Now for the people who now say, and I said this out to my dad. I'm not religious. I'm spiritual. For one that it is religious, for one that's religious, that's a Christian, they say that is vaccinated. How do you feel? Let me say this. How do you feel about a situation there where you got two groups of people, one that's vaccinated, one that's not vaccinated, but they both Christians, right? But I don't know what's wrong with the side of Christians that did get vaccinated, that did get it. But let's talk about the one that sides that didn't get it, that have religious beliefs that they didn't want to get it. How do you feel about people criticizing? How do you feel about that?
My thing is, don't criticize me. I'm not criticizing you because you didn't get it. Like,
right.
If your beliefs is.
But they both Christian though.
Yeah.
So it's like a question. Are they really Christians? See, you see how I said that? It's like a trick question. Like, because if you're really Christian, because if the one that didn't get vaccinated and they have religious beliefs, I don't know about Christianity for real to know about shots and whether they get it or not. But just to say that Christians don't believe in a shot, and the ones that didn't get it, but there is Christians that did get the shot. Like, how ironic. Where are we at to a point to where is the shot more important or people's religious beliefs? Now, again, I don't believe in religion. I believe in spirituality. But I'm taking myself out and I'm leaving it to a situation or a scenario to the people that believe in religion. I'm making that into a scenario. And the people that believe in religion and believe in Christianity, right? We got ones that's vaccinated and not vaccinated. But they both Christians. Now, it could be a thing in Christianity where they don't believe in getting forced the shot, right? Yeah. What do you think about a scenario about a person that's not a Christian, a person that is a Christian that got the shot, and a person that didn't get the shot that is a Christian? What I'm trying to say is, who's winning that war? Are we talking more about what man saying or about God saying? When we talk about religious beliefs,
man, that's one I can't.
Okay,
even,
good.
That's one I can't even answer.
Okay, good, right?
Because,
okay,
man, I can't even answer that one.
Okay,
because
I said this up for my dad.
Yeah.
I just left my dad like 2 hours ago, and I said he couldn't say nothing because he talk all this religion, Christianity, and I said it up just like that. I just want to know, like, is where it comes down to that? What's more important, what man says or what God says? Because if God says, I don't know about Christianity, about the shots, but
God say you shouldn't put in your body, but then
where did
I got to get this shot in order to save my life. Like, what do you do? And that's the point. Like, shh. I just say, all right, if I don't get the shot right now, I'm going to die. But God say we shouldn't put anything that isn't pure in our body. What I'm going to do? That's basically the question you asked.
See what I'm saying?
I want to know what to do.
So I'm saying, because how can the Christians that got vaccinated judge and criticize the Christians that didn't get vaccinated,
or vice versa?
But the Christians that did get vaccinated, believing that they don't believe in, they got religious belief about the shot.
Right. Yeah. See, I want to know how to answer
you know what I mean?
Because all right. So if they was like, nigga, you gonna die in a week. You got 3 days to decide if you want to take this shot or you gonna die. But I'm like super holy fat. I believe you shouldn't put nothing in your body that ain't pure. Shit, I don't know. Like, if I'm
it's a hard question.
Yeah.
Because I think man created to be hard like that.
Yeah.
And created like that.
Because I don't know. I don't believe I should put nothing pure in my body, but at the same time, I don't want to die. So.
Right.
Yeah.
And at the same time, you want to eat.
Right.
Because you got to have a job.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like.
Right. But then, too, they say, all right, so say I did take this shot, and I was one of those people who was like, well, I believe that you shouldn't put nothing pure in your body. So what that mean now? I'm going to hell? Yeah, that's probably how they think. Or people who
that's probably how they think.
Yeah,
right?
that's probably how they think. Like,
that's a good one.
Right. So the Christians that did take it and they like judge you, maybe they're like, shit, I don't want to be.
Damn. Okay, I see what you're saying.
Yeah, like I want to get my drawers burned by myself, so I'm gonna hype my peoples up to take it too. Like that ain't what I'm doing though. Like I'm just saying.
Or do they even know that what this shot is going on could be something diabolical? Right. I don't think my dad know the significance. I think because he a Christian. So what I'm saying to you is, do they know the real significance about it? Do they know that this could be possibly biblical? Is what I'm saying. Yeah. Do you? I don't think some of them know.
I don't think they know. And
okay, go ahead. I mean, speak on it.
Speak it.
Speak. Yeah. Go ahead and say something. Yeah, there you go.
I don't think they pay attention to it because they made it so quick and so easy for the older folks to get it. So they made it so gentle, so easy, so kind for the older folks to get it. Like you can't go see them, you can't go here without getting it, and they
There you
gave it to
go.
them first.
Right.
They
There you go.
touched them first.
Right.
Them ASAP. So it was like the older the older ones, the one in the nursing home, the one up here, y'all all get that, and then
Right.
and then it's like once they all got it, it was like they were seeing what happened. So they would have had started with the older folks to see if see if they deceased or not.
Right.
I would believe. You know what I'm saying? Because it was them. Then after that, it went to like the 50s, like what the 80s, the 80s, the 70s,
And then healthcare workers and shit.
and then healthcare workers, and then
Absolutely.
and then they paused,
Yeah.
and then they paused the healthcare workers and said, "Oh, we got to stop because some of the vaccine they had to stop it for some reason." And then they.
But
start
so
pushing
crazy
in,
that you
then-
said that shit,
Absolute
bro.
good fucking
And so
point.
it is.
because the clots, they talking about the blood clots and shit.
Good
Hey,
fucking
now-
point.
That point was so live, bro.
Hey, man, it was so live.
That shit was so
They
live.
stopped this shit. Stopped for a while to see what the fuck happened. Okay, well, we'll stop doing this for a little bit, but we'll keep pushing this for a little. We'll keep pushing this because we just got 4 of them. Okay, they all fucked up. But since these 2, we got complaints about these, so we'll put these to the side and go ahead and keep on pushing these 2.
Right.
Once that wave break down, we go ahead and start pushing the Pfizer and the other ones back out there to
Right.
you again. You know what I'm saying? Oh, we fixed this, we go ahead and push it back out there to you again.
Hey.
And then obviously you got all these deaths and shit. Now you're like, what the fuck?
Hey, that
Absolutely.
shit when you first started off with was so live, it made me think some more. Because when the shot first came out, like you said, they gave it to the older people first. At first, that shit was just tested in the labs. But so for real, the older people was the test dummies.
They was the guinea
Okay,
pigs.
yeah, that was the guinea pigs. And like you said, the older people who got it first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ones that got it first.
Right, they got it first.
Those are people that go to see them and then
Damn.
down to the health card
That was some good ass shit.
And
The older people got it first.
You couldn't even go into the motherfucking you couldn't even go into the motherfucking hospital
Right.
without a call them and none of that shit until the healthcare workers
Good
got
shit.
the goddamn shot.
Yeah. See,
And
that,
then,
so
and then they let you go in there.
the older people was guinea pigs. Anyway, because that shit was tested in the lab. They said, let's give it to these older people who got it or something. That was some good ass shit right there, bro.
Okay.
Right there.
Dope
That
as
was,
fuck.
yeah.
That was dope.
So that was the guinea pigs.
Hell yeah.
And now they know that it lightweight work or whatever. And then, bam, they hit us with this new strand.
Now it's the
Okay.
kids.
Yeah, now it's
Now
the
it's the
kids.
kids.
Yeah, now it's the kids that's getting the shit.
Now,
Like,
could them focus on the younger population? Could it be that they doing that because they know that there's some people out here that's like, hey, I don't believe in it because guess what? Of course that the older people,
That's why the church is pushing it.
right? Of course that the older people is dying from it because they got a compromised immune system.
Right.
Yeah, what I'm saying, let me say that. Could it be that they know that it's people out here knowing that, okay, I don't believe in it because it is people, the older people dying because they got older, they got a compromised immune system. So until the younger population or a certain demographic between a certain age range, unless they affected by it, I'm not worried about it.
Right.
Could they be thinking like, hey, it is people out here thinking like that, so guess what? We can put this variant out here, and this variant, just say if they did put it out here, I believe it could be out here, but just say it might not be the significance. Do you believe that they could use that to say, hey, we're going to use this as a way for the non-believers that believe that it ain't out here, just because the stronger population not being affected by it?
right. Yeah, I think that the younger people, I ain't gonna say we party because I don't party, but I do when I get with my boys. We kick and we drink, and our crowds is likely to get big. To say I can call you, and you call Ike and and they come into the party, versus what older people really kick. Most people they got it from like going to the grocery store or from work and shit like that. But the younger people, when we get together, we kick it. Like you get what I'm
Okay.
saying? So that they hit us with that new variant. And the younger people getting it now because we getting bigger crowds and shit. When we going to the club, the bar, or wherever, like,
Okay.
and we getting that shit. So now, in a minute, they got to come up with another vaccine.
So the other way to get up for taking that shot is to go ahead and say that the people that got the shot got COVID. Since I said you can't really get COVID, you got COVID. Well, that's the strand. You go ahead and get the variant. 'Cause now that people that got the shot, the booster, they can get it.
Yeah.
So you gotta.
Because I know somebody who got
Okay.
the shot and they got COVID, but they didn't die from it. Like,
Or could they use the variant to say, hey, since it ain't enough people being vaccinated, so guess what?
And that's what
we
they
gonna
said.
create. This could be two scenarios. either we create a variant and throw it out there, or we quote unquote say this a Delta variant and just say it's out there. Not saying it is out there to trick the people. It's just kind of like how you got like it's a dog they call a shepherd, but they guide sheep, right? Could they be that dog that's guiding sheep into us as being a sheep into that barnyard, unbeknownst to us, right?
Yeah.
Like it's like, is it really out here? Did they say that in order us to scare people, in order to get in the shop?
Yeah.
Could it, or either or? What you think?
I think it's actually out there, and I think us as people.
Okay, let me interrupt you. I'm gonna let you say this. You believe it's out here?
I do believe COVID is out here.
Okay. Okay, let's talk about the Delta variant. How? Okay, or either or. How much of a significance you think it's out here?
I don't think it's out. I don't think it's out here like the news pushing it. But I do think it's out here because, like I said, I don't see it.
Okay,
like
right.
I say since COVID came out, I knew probably two hands how many people actually got COVID, and out of that hand, I knew probably like 3 of them that died from it. That's just numbers, just period. So like, so 10 people out of them 10 people I know that got COVID, only 3 of them died. So I mean that's me. I see it, but the world is way more bigger than that. Like,
right.
And the only thing we see is the numbers on the TV. We don't actually see it. Like,
but if
so, they the shepherd, the dog, we the sheep that's
exactly.
believing in that shit.
But see,
like,
even though it is a big world, right? But they use certain words in a way to make you seem like the way it's bad, right? And they use that in a way to get in your subconscious. So okay, I'm a type of person. What you say, I'm gonna take you at your value, right? I'm gonna take what they say as their value. So if it's that bad, how they saying it is, right? Like it's this pandemic. It's like it's one of the worst things that happened ever. There still should be somebody I know that's really like, I should still be able to see it for real. Now, and again, we're talking about the globe. It's a big world, right? Let's talk about how big the globe is versus how bad they say the pandemic is.
But you know what?
When we put it on the scale, does it add up? I still should see some type of trauma, some suffering out there.
You also got to think too. Like I said, COVID's been around forever.
Okay.
How come you never heard nobody getting it until this happened?
I think because the stage wasn't set for it to happen. Okay, I don't know how much time we got left. Let me say this, though. And let me say this. When it comes to rights, right? And we talk about shots, and you do have a right to know what's going on in your body or not. There is a violation. You have that right. It's a law that you can know. But as we seeing today, that they stepping over that boundary, right? Now, is it? Let me say how I'm gonna set this question up. Now, is this pandemic more imperative than your own personal rights? Because before this pandemic happened, you got a right to know what's going on in your body and what's not. You got that right to say I don't reject that, right? Now, are we getting to the point where? I'm not saying we get to the point, but where we get to these days now, is this pandemic more important on a public level about who's getting sick and recovering from it on a 98% level, or we worrying about rights? What's more important? One's rights about not being forcible, being jabbed, or we talking about some pandemic that's coming out of a box that could be possibly propaganda? Now, let's say this. Say if it's not propaganda, and say if it is real. Are we really putting what's going on out here on a scale versus personal rights and what's going on out here?
Yeah, because like I said, it's bullshit.
So,
because where I work at now, it's starting to come in there like, if you ain't vaccinated, you can't work here no more. That's taking away my right to choose. Like, because if I don't work, where the fuck I'm gonna work at? And that ain't gonna be the only place to do it. Right now, it's nursing homes they starting to pass on. If you ain't, because I work in a nursing home, if you don't get this shot, you can't work here.
There's like anything federal funded.
But after that, it's gonna trickle down to other places. Like you can't work at a hotel unless you vaccinated because that's where a lot of people go.
Yeah, already starting that.
Yeah. Or you ain't gonna soon. You ain't gonna be able to go to baseball games because a lot of
Yeah,
people
we
gather
started
there.
in
You gotta be
Buffalo.
vaccinated.
In Buffalo, you gotta have a card to get
I
in
got
the
my
game.
card. Yeah.
So
See?
guess
It's
what?
taking away our right to choose.
So guess
Yeah.
what though?
On
Just
short, you got 72 hours attached to 72 hours, right?
So want the card.
So guess what though? That just answered the whole question. You know what? When we put these two things on the scale, our pleasures is weighing out our rights.
Right.
So the way I set this up is saying that we're giving up our rights versus what we want to do as far as having the pleasures. We went to a Bills game. We're willing to give up our rights to go to a Bills game. We're willing to give up our rights to go to a certain restaurant. We're willing to give our rights to go to grocery stores.
Right.
Right.
What do we really? Where's this gonna go?
And then ain't gonna be nobody walking around.
Versus freedom.
Everything-
Where's it gonna go?
Everything gonna be
Freedom
virtual.
getting stripped.
How much rights do we have to where we look up and say we don't have rights? How much are we willing to give into pleasures to give up our rights? That's the real question.
And that's a good
They're
ass
gonna
question.
try to force
too.
us to give it up.
Oh man, it's already being forced.
They gonna do it.
It's already being forced. It's just little by little. Like in a minute we ain't gonna have no choice.
We gonna see something more. It's more gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting because we ain't never been up here. But it's either gonna be like a new type of culture shock because they advanced, especially with this shit too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So they might be doing shit a little different up there.
Yeah, it is.
Once you cross over there, you see what I'm saying? So,
Good.
you know,
Like I said, it.
it's gonna make you stuck.
I
Yeah.
believe in it, and like I said, I got the shot for personal reasons, but everybody different. And when they do hit the world, like, oh, you got to get this shot, or you can't go here, you can't go there, are you gonna be forced to your motherfucking house? Are they gonna put motherfuckers in jail? Like
They're
that's
doing it in
away-
Australia, by the way.
Like they just take away people's right to choose, and that was my whole thing for wanting to do this podcast, because like it's just a way for us to be controlled.
Yeah, that's a good one.
And pretty soon, like I said, it ain't gonna be no going to stadiums
None of that
or
shit.
hitting the club or going to Buffalo or
None of that
Jamaica.
shit.
We can only visualize that shit. Like Demolition Man. Remember how when they wanted to have sex, they put that motherfucking goggles on? Remember that part? Yeah. Yeah, like that. In a minute, we ain't gonna be able to sit here and do this podcast. We got to do it. You over in your spot, I'm over in my
Virtual.
spot. Yeah, virtual. We
Wow.
on that for a screen.
They set the Zoom up
Yeah.
just for that.
Yeah,
Wow.
no. In a minute, that's how I see that's what I see the world coming to.
DoorDash.
Me and my eyes. Yeah, DoorDash.
They set it up.
Yeah.
Good closing out. on
Yes,
that.
sir. All day.
I didn't know nothing about Demolition Man about that, but
You don't remember that part of Demolition
yeah,
Man? Oh, you
yeah.
never seen? Man, Demolition
Yeah,
Man.
Sylvester Stallone, someone had sex the old-fashioned
Yeah,
way.
he want to have it the old-fashioned way.
Hey.
Yeah.
He want to put the
hey,
guts up.
ODB podcast. I like how
For
you
sure.
close
OD
that out. Go ahead. I like how you
podcast.
close that out.
Holla at your boy.
Yeah. Hey, that was a good. Damn, he shocked my head with that. Hey, we out with that. I love that one.
Okay, so I know the vote.